You were telling me during the break that you have an organization or part of an organization called 1in6.org.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It is a website for peer support for people who are looking for information, looking for support, looking for information. Greg LeMond, the Tour de France winner, is also a survivor who's on the board. Even myself being where I'm at in my life, when I went through that website, I was so excited and so happy. And I called them right away and I said, how do I get involved with your group? I think you guys are doing an amazing service for the community, and I want to be involved. So it's been wonderful.
1in6 refers to the fact that 1in6 boys suffers sexual abuse of some kind.
Before 18, and the girls' stat is even more staggering. It's 1in3. So, we're talking like we're now in the category of HIV. This is what this is what we're talking about. This isn't something that happens occasionally. This is something that happens every second, every minute, and every hour of every day. That some poor, helpless child is being taken advantage of. And you know what, Bill? That's why I've done 100 interviews in the last 10 days, is because, you know what, this needs to be on the front page as opposed to the back page. And, this is epidemic proportions. And, the jails are filled with people who've been abused. The court system's are filled. The people who live on the street have been affected in some sort of way, and it needs to be stopped. And I don't know where we start or whatever, but I think awareness is the biggest thing.
But you have decided personally to pursue further charges against Graham James.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've just hired the probably the best criminal lawyer in Canada, and Hirsch Walsh, and I sat down with him yesterday, and we had a good conversation, and he assured me that he would do the very best to help me with this problem and this issue. And obviously public opinion is that they want me to do this, and that's what I intend to do. But it's it's a process.
You made $50 million. Do you have any left?
Yes, I do. $50 million is 25 after the tax man gets his percentage.
You have two ex-wives.
And then you have two ex-wives, so you slice that in half twice after that. And, but you know what, Bill? I've always said if you can't make money, you're stupid or you're lazy, and I'm neither of either. So, and sometimes he who dies with the most toys, doesn't necessarily win. I think that I have a tremendous amount of opportunity now, more than ever, and like I said, I've made some good choices and good investments, and we're doing fine.
There are some funny moments in the book. We'll talk about that. There are also some not so funny things that we still have to talk about. Part of that is you blew up 2 marriages. Veronica was more patient than most women would be, but not even she was willing to live with your infidelity and your gambling.
Mm. Yeah.
You talk in the book about her going to use your credit card, or her credit card, and it was maxed out. You had a $50,000 limit on 2 credit cards at the time, and they were both maxed.
Yep. That's the insanity of the disease, and where I was in my life. I didn't care. I didn't care, and the strip joint was one-stop shopping. Booze, drugs, and girls, and I look back on some of those incidents, or parties that I was at, and you know what? You know, being drunk and stoned and high, all your inhibitions just completely go away, and you know, you do whatever, you know.
Yeah, and then you get up in the morning and you play in the NHL. Talk about the story about you and your brother Travis going to the casino.
You know, this was during that time where I'd kind of strung some bit of, you know, sobriety together, and obviously I moved on to the next, you know, addiction, which was gambling. And I lived in Greenwich, Connecticut, and the Mohegan Sun is about an hour and a half away. So I got into a fight with Veronica that night. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and my brother was visiting. So I went downstairs. He was already in bed sleeping. So I grabbed his ass, and I said, "We're going to the casino." He's like, "All right, okay, whatever." So we walked in the casino. I think I had about $10,000 in cash, and I gave my brother $1,000. And so we started playing craps, and this little old man in a walker comes up to the crap table, and he grabbed the dice and he rolled for an hour and a half. And when it was all said and done, when he finally rolled a 7, I think I probably had about $50,000 on the table, because I had everything. Everything was maxed. I couldn't bet anymore. And
were you just following him?
What's that?
Were you following him?
No. I know how to play, and my brother was just kind of piggybacking my bets. And when I looked down after he crapped out, I had $250,000 sitting in the tray, and I looked over, my brother had $50,000, and so we go up to the cage to cash out and leave, because I had to be at practice, right? So it was about, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning. So, and we still had another hour and a half drive ahead of us to get home. But, so we get up to the cage, and the guy goes, "Can we give you a cashier's check for this?" And I'm like, "No, I can't have any paper trails of checks or whatever." So I said, "I want it all in cash," I said. And the guy just looked at me. He had to hand count $250,000 in cash, and then $50,000 for my brother. I remember we put it in 2 brown bags, and we had 8 security guards, and we walked out, got in the limo, and then, you know, we didn't eat much, so you know, on the I-95 there's, you know, all those kind of shady truck stops and McDonald's. So we pulled into the drive-through of the McDonald's restaurant in a limo, and got us some food. So, but you know what, that just, you know, I could tell you 100 stories like that.
But you just reminded me of one. You talked about driving home. You took a drive from the United States back to Calgary with a car stuffed full of cocaine and crossed the border.
Yeah. That's how insane I was, and that's how much I didn't care, you know. And plus, I was going back to Calgary, so I was filled with a lot of anxiety and fear about, you know, facing or going back to live in Calgary after, you know, I kind of left, and, you know, my 2 small children were there living in Calgary, and you know,
good, Dad's home with the cocaine.
Yeah.